The title of the mission report is called House on Fire. Does it sound like the world today?
Yes.
House on fire. Is the world on fire? All for the wrong reasons. Hawaii, right? What else can you think of about the world being on fire? Jerusalem. Okay, the Jerusalem. In fact, we discussed that 2 weeks ago, or last week, I think. Feel free to take part, use your wireless mics and speak in the mic. And yes. Yeah, it is live. We're also recording it, so if the presentation comes out well, we upload it, onto YouTube. So we always record at least the divine service and upload it. We record Sabbath School also. So if it comes out well, I edit it and then upload it. So feel free to take part. So House on Fire could also reflect the state of the world today. There's the Jerusalem issue, the city of peace. Is it really the city of peace? Has it ever been the city of peace, Jerusalem? Sometimes you wonder how and why God does the things, the way it happens. Why He allows it. After all, He is God. He can easily allow peace to literally reign on earth. But then, there are other issues to be concerned about, or rather to consider, because it's not just as easy as you think. Why can't just God let these things work out for the well-being of all people, all concerned, right? So we will relate to the title called House on Fire, which is a mission report for today, to even our Sabbath School lesson for today, which is called what?
Worship the Creator.
Worship the Creator, found on page 64. If you are following the book, you may follow the Sabbath School quarterly or just follow what I'm saying. We'll do it together. So the answer to the world's problems is what? In brief, in summary. The gospel, you said, again, feel free to say it in your mind. The answer to the world's problems, the world being on fire, the world this and world that, the Jerusalem issue, what else? Even the politics, that are in any part of the world, but especially this country, because it seems like the U.S. is always setting the tone for the rest of the world, so to speak. Whether the world follows it or not, it's not the issue, but rather, the world pays a lot of attention, and it seems to occupy everybody's minds as to where the U.S. is heading. Why? Why should anyone care about what's happening in the U.S.? Why should anyone care that the U.S. embassy was moved to Jerusalem?
The U.S. has been perceived as the leader of the free world.
The leader of the free world? Yes? Feel free to speak louder. Yes.
And so therefore, the steps that the U.S. would take would be observed by the free world. It's been the example. It's been the light on the hill. And so the world watches the United States to see what its actions are going to be.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so the U.S. is no doubt the only superpower remaining, as I said. And superpower in what? Not just nuclear arms. If that was the case, then you could consider Russia to be, just as equally a superpower. But in terms of economy, in terms of freedom, human rights, religious freedom, shall we say religious freedom? Does it relate to what we're going to talk about?
Freedom of press, freedom of religion.
Freedom of religion.
Economic rights.
Economic rights.
Human rights.
Right. So they say that the U.S. is the greatest power in the history of the world. Is that true? Could it be? Yeah, when you consider all the areas we're talking about, because there were greater powers as recorded in the Bible and as recorded in history in terms of geographical reach, like the Romans,
Yes. Yes, Alexander the Great.
Alexander the Great, and so, so in terms of influence and impact, the US is considered a leader. Okay? But it's also predicted in the Bible about what? The US. In what sense? Do you not know your Revelation and Daniel and Revelation? In what way is it predicted? I mean, we talk about Jerusalem. Many people think, and we can say maybe falsely think, that somehow moving the embassy to Jerusalem, building of the temple, rebuilding of Solomon's temple, all will play a part in the end time events. And so a lot of people are not probably fully aware of the extent to which prophecy and the way you interpret prophecy matters in terms of which camp you belong to, right? So I'm going to kind of this dots. Yes, you said something. Why does it matter? The U.S. has been predicted. Is it?
Yes.
Yes. In what sense?
Oh, in the sense that it is gentle in the beginning. There's just
Man like beast.
as we've noted, but ultimately it will actually turn on the people of God by the end of time.
Yeah, so man like beast as in what? Freedom of? Is it
Religion.
just speech?
Religion.
Yeah. So what is religion all about?
Worshiping the Lord.
Worship the Creator. It's all about worship. So the U.S., is referred to as a lamb-like beast, which stands for the freedom, human rights, and especially what? Freedom of religion. About worship. Worshiping God as you choose, not as what the government states you should choose. After all, the U.S. was founded on the principle also based on what? Religious freedom, that no one can tell you, or no one should tell you, the state cannot interfere with the matters of church, matters of conscience, matters of worship, right? And so, in the end, what will happen? This country, this great country that stands for freedom of religion, which means freedom of worship, okay? What will happen ultimately? It's predicted to become
a persecutor.
okay? A persecutor. In what sense?
A persecutor of religious freedom.
Right.
Deprived.
Right. It will become the dragon in the sense that this lamb-like gentle beast that stands for freedom will ultimately stand against freedom. Shall we say that? Standing against conscience. The freedom of conscience. And it comes out in what way? With what argument this happens? Because many people think that, or thought that this could never happen. That the U.S. that stands for freedom can ever become a beast that stands against freedom, right? And it gives power to, and it's predicted, prophecy says it will give power to who? Another power that stands against freedom of worship. Which other power?
The beast.
The beast, which it's called in Revelation, it has a number, it's a name, it has a characteristic. Yeah, 666, a system. That has a history of oppression. Okay? But in the name of what? They never thought they were oppressing. In the name of what? Religion. In the name of worshiping God. In the name of worshiping the true God. In fact, the other system, we're saying system, not people, but people make up the system, right? They claim to be what? The universal church, which came directly out of Peter. Peter, they say, is the first pope. Or at least the one that came right after him. Who was right after this? I read history that I'm giving you before you go to today's sermon. Today's Sabbath School lesson, which is worship the Creator. So it's all about religion in the end. It's all about worship. It's not about how bad or rather the economy is. It's not about how bad or how good education system or science. It's all about what? In the end, it becomes what? Worship, right? Worshiping who?
The bees.
That's what they think. Because the fact that in Revelation we find the three angels message stating as, fear God and give him the glory, for the hour of his judgment is come, and the other things. It's all, and so whoever drinks of the wine of the wrath of who, what? The whore, Babylon, will take part. Right. So both systems, or rather, the true religion and also false religion, so-called, are what? They're all called the same name, which is what? Christian. Those who follow God. So people can be easily misled into that which is false based on what? Okay, let's see. Let me read that. How can you be easily misled into that which is fake? The word fake is so popular nowadays. And who knew that this would be a popular term now? There'll be a battle of truth. Then I saw another angel flying in the middle of heaven, having the everlasting gospel to preach to those who dwell on the earth, to every nation, tribe, tongue, and people. And so here it talks about, I'll go a little bit into what's the lesson is stating, and then I have some ideas I want to share about what this whole deal about worship is. But now that we understand the importance of understanding what worship is all about, why? Because it be a source and a cause and a consequence, a battle of who to worship. What are the rules to worship, so to speak, right? What are the principles that underlie what religion? What is true and what is not, okay? So here we're talking about, and if anyone, while I'm reading or, speaking, if you have a comment to make, please raise your hand, and feel free to take wireless mic from here and take part, okay? So here we're talking about worship, right? Today's topic is what? Worship. And why? Because it will be a source of conflict in the end. The great controversy. What is the subject of the great controversy? Worship. Right versus wrong? Worship. There's not right versus wrong music, is it? Oh, well, music can be used. Not right versus wrong, right and wrong dress, or logo, or the building. It's about worship. And that's where it all starts from. What is your idea of worship versus what's my idea of worship, right? And there'll be a great battle. In fact, the issue of judgment is all about what? Worship. God. True peace comes from true, true building. That's what they think, the temple has to be there. That's what has been predicted. That's the, chosen Israel, Abraham. That's all what needs to happen before what? Peace can reign. And before that, of course, they all know, the evangelicals and others, they all know that, well, this has to happen according to their interpretation, and there will be a conflict, a great conflict, Armageddon, and that will precede the establishing of the 1,000-year reign of Jesus Christ. And so many people have these different ideas of what worship is all about and how it's going to come into play. Okay? So, as Adventists, we say, but it's like Adventist Christians, we believe what? The concept of present truth versus precious truth. Somebody else preached here about two kinds of truth. What are they? Precious truth and present truth. We believe in present truth also. What is present truth? How many of you heard what present truth is? Versus precious truth. Can anyone name what present truth is? It's basically the idea that God unfolds truth to humanity at the time it is needed, with more and more light being given by the Lord over all the ages. Okay? So the first gospel promise in Genesis 3:15 revealed to the foreign pair that hope would come through the second woman. So, what is the present truth? Do we all understand? Do we know this? So we are not confused? It's basically the idea that God unfolds truth to humanity at the time that it is needed. which means like prophecies, what is going to happen in the future, based on what has happened and what is happening because of what happened. What happened? Sin entered the world. And so God gave a promise that He will redeem mankind. Okay? And then He also promised, down through the ages, through all the prophets, what? The coming of the Messiah, through prophecy, prophetic timelines. Okay? If you don't understand this, if you misunderstand how all this works out, what will happen? You could end up in the wrong camp. Based on what? Last week we had signs and wonders. Oh, it looks so flashy and nice. If anyone watched the Jerusalem Embassy movie, if you actually watch it, it's very moving, the service, the speeches. All that they were talking about, So it is very important to know present truth as revealed where? Not to somebody else. In the Bible, read for yourself. What is precious truth? Anyone know precious truth? Precious truth is this. I learned from Mary's uncle or brother, right? He came and preached here one time. He talked about precious truth and present truth. Precious truth is God loves us. He gave His Son to die for us. Okay, God is gracious. He's merciful. He'll forgive. These are all what? Precious truths. Turn around, come back to Him. He will forgive. He will take you back. If you're like the prodigal person. These are precious truths. Now we understand the difference between precious truth and present truth. So these are all universal. These are the universal truths we all should know. Of the what? Gospel. What's the gospel? God spelling good news. When God spells something, that is supposed to be good for us. Right? When He warns us that stay away from this like Sodom and Gomorrah, fire will come and destroy you. Is that good news or bad news? It's good for your own safety. When you tell your children, stay away from this, don't put your finger in that socket or whatever, is that good or bad? Okay. So now we understand, and these are universal. That means there is no other truth, no other fact that can trump this fact, which is what? There is sin and there's redemption. Okay? There's also going to be destruction. But before that, some events will happen. That's the present truth, right? But God is gracious if you don't. We all have sinned and come short of the glory of God. That is precious truth. For God so loved the world.
That He gave His only begotten
Yeah.
Son.
So, is that the only thing that's in the Bible? He also said, how do we accept, God? How do we worship God? How do we accept? What's the purpose of worship actually? Actually, I just want to summarize the whole thing to say, what is the purpose of worship? Think about it while I go through these other points. Okay? What is the purpose of worship? What is worship and what is the purpose? Thief on the cross, the everlasting gospel, fear God and give glory to Him. The hour of His judgment is come. Worship the one who made the heaven and earth. Okay? All fine thoughts? What is the purpose of worship? Fear God and give Him glory for the hour of so basically, fear God means what? And this is what I wanted to say. I said this before. You will not give glory unless you have a fear. You all understand what is glory again? Let's go to the root so you will understand. What is glory to you? You can see dictionary.com. What is glory? Is it light, bright, colors, rainbow? I don't know. What is glory to you? Fear God and give Him, we take this for granted. Well, what's the meaning of glory? I told this to my family. So they already know. And I said that here. What is glory to you? Define glory. Fear God and give Him glory. For what? For what? What is glory? You don't know what glory is? Yes.
Glory is a reverence. It's a hallowing. It's a willingness to submit. It's many things.
Many times we say, oh, it's so glorious.
It's also a beauty.
Beauty?
It's a recognition of goodness and of eternity. It encompasses many concepts.
But what is the one concept that you can say defines glory? What is glory to you?
Praise.
Praise, adoration, great adoration, right? But under fear, yeah, okay, fear, of course, fear of God. But glory means what? When Moses went up, on the mountain and saw God, he showed his glory. What is that glory? Is it light?
In the essence of goodness.
Yeah, that could be part of that too. Great light. So glorious. When Paul was on the way to Damascus, what did he witness? He experienced what? A blinding light. So you can say that's also that glory. But in essence, really, what is glory? I would say that the meaning of glory means importance. When you give glory to God, that means you're giving importance to God. That means instead of giving importance to anything else, you're prioritizing God on anything. You can give glory to other things too. Like, okay, a lot of people seek praise and glory where? Either in music, fashion, other things. Because there's great glory if they are successful. If you have number one song on the billboard, you get what? Praise, accolades. So a lot of times we're seeking glory in different ways. So as human beings, we are naturally inclined to do what? Seek glory. That means what? Why is it so important to have lots of money or whatever? What?
It makes you feel more important.
Yeah, more importantly, you feel maybe you can live a better life. So you prioritize, you make that important, that goal to achieve, right? So in terms of worship and glory, what is the meaning of glory now? If you break it down. Fear God and give Him importance. You will not give importance to God and His place in your life or wherever, you will not do that unless you understand who He is. The fear will not come. What is fear again? An awesome, life-shaking, kind of feeling that, there's life and death, right? You will not understand the importance of God unless you understand the life and death issue that is involved in fearing God, right? So it's all tied around with what? Worship. Why should we worship the Creator? Let's get back to that. If I say worship God, so what? What's the meaning of worship God? In other words, give importance to Him, put God first, right? Why? Why should we worship God? The Bible is always talking about worship God, it's from beginning to the end. What is the meaning of worshiping God to you? Did you ever think about it? What is the purpose? What is supposed to do? Why should we worship? Why worship God? Anyone?
He's the creator.
He's the Creator, okay?
When we worship Him, we exalt Him. We lift Him up.
Mm-hmm. We lift God up, what?
As the creator, because He's the Creator.
Right? He's the Creator? Why?
He's all powerful. He can do anything with us.
He's the source, life, right? So I would say the purpose of worship is to come in unity with your Maker. Community. Worship is about what? Community. Coming in unity with God. Why? Because you already said it, we are made in His image. And what has happened in the Bible that, no one can disagree with, but what has happened? Why should we worship God? To come in unity, communion, okay? So that our image that is fallen can be restored. It can be redeemed. Why? So we can live the way we are supposed to be lived, the way we are created. We were created as glorious beings without sin. And so human beings tend to always worship. That means give importance or adore or something, always something or the other. So if you don't worship the Creator, what are you doing?
You're worshiping something else.
Exactly. You're giving importance to something else, which is usually what? Is creation, right? Or creature. It could be sun, moon, yourself, your ideas, your thoughts, your music, your dress, who knows what, you know? So God is saying the remedy for your fallenness is what? Worship the Creator. Okay, and how will it manifest? You know, when we worship God, we're coming in unity with Him. What are the steps to worship God? There are maybe only two steps, I would say. The purpose of worship again is what? Restoration. To come in unity. To be restored in His likeness. We are created in His likeness. So God is telling us to worship Him ultimately to be what? To become like Him. So if you become like Him, then what? You can be the good news. You can be the gospel of God Himself. You can be God's spokesperson. And so for that to happen, will it happen overnight? Just because you said, God, forgive me? You know, people say, are you saved? Is salvation a one-time process? One-time step? It's a process. It's a lifelong process. You can never become perfect in one day. And who defines perfection anyway? It says in the Bible, be perfect as God is perfect. How does God define perfection? I'm mixing about the thoughts here. How does God define perfection?
Be there for perfectness,
Yeah. How does that happen? Are we really perfect? We are fallen beings. But yet we are called to be perfect. And to worship, right? Perfection, according to God, does not happen in one step. That's why it says justification, that means forgiveness, sanctification, which is a lifelong process. Right? The thief on the cross, here, the thief on the cross is there. Was he perfect? He was not. But in God's eyes, God makes perfect. It is God who defines perfection, not you and me. If you look at you and me, we'll find a lot of faults. In fact, that's what's happening in politics and every other place. So much fault finding with each other. And we are fallen beings anyway. Of course, you'll find a lot of faults. But the remedy is what? Worship. And He will perfect us till the coming of Jesus Christ. And then when we're glorified, that means when all, all the imperfections are removed, then that's when salvation is complete. So worshiping the Creator has two steps. What are they? Giving the glory, fear God. What are they? Humble yourself and commune with Him. And when we humble ourselves, that means we are what? We are not first place. He is first. He is the Alpha and Omega. We are somewhere in between. Let Him be Alpha and Omega. If He is the beginning and the end, what will happen? You will not end. Otherwise, if you focus on yourself, your ideas, and that's what is going to happen, your idea of worship, your idea of who God is, what will happen? There will be conflict, chaos, and it will all come to an end. You have an expiry date. Yes.
One thing that's really amazing is that God has placed these things in us already. He's placed eternity in our hearts. He's placed a desire to worship in our hearts. And so He's already kind of pre-programmed us for this role of being reunited with Him.
Community.
All we have to do is take advantage of it.
Yeah, and why do people have a problem with that? Why do people have a problem with the concept of God, religion, true religion? Because they put themselves. They are not understanding who they are and whose they are. Where did they come from? And too often people have ideas that what? A lot of people think that they are the all in all. Science is great, technology. I mean, in fact, I mentioned this before. There's a person who thinks that all the answers there is science. So when I actually debated with him, I finally had to agree the science is not perfect. Okay, I told him he was asking this question: why do people go to hospital? Why don't they just pray? What is the answer? What answer will you give? When somebody say, God, faith healers don't go to hospitals and heal.
God has given us science. He's given us knowledge. He's given us wisdom, but we're not supposed to use that.
Yeah, but if somebody says and says there's no God, then you don't have to worship the Creator. That's all fairy tales. He just somebody wrote it. In fact, that's what does he have to say? What will he say to some people who absolutely don't believe in any of this? We are outreach driven. So our goal is to break these things down to make people understand the absolute importance and of what? These are life and death matters. Worship is all about life and death. That means he may not be worshiping God, he's worshiping who? Science. That system. And so he asked this question like, why don't the faith healers come to the hospitals and heal? He was trying to imply that, it is science that helps you, not God, or that idea of faith or God. So I told them, can science save you from death? When you're on your deathbed, what would you be saying? Oh God or Darwin? Because he believes in evolution too. Human beings are evolving. What would you say? Do you think all the doctors that are there in the hospitals don't pray? Do you think that all diseases can be healed? In fact, somebody sent me a nice video, I think I'll show it sometime, about a woman who was born with all kinds of problems, and she was supposed to die, and the doctors gave up hope, but there was prayer, she was healed, now she has 2 kids and all that. So I have to send that to him and say, you know what? When science fails, there is faith. Your life starts with faith, religion. Science is there to help you, make it easy, but it's not going to save you. And in the end, it will be, religion again, your faith, ultimately, So worshiping God is so, what? It is important, this matter. We don't know how God will judge anyone. Okay, but the one is a given, that these things will happen, prophecies are, this will happen, present truth and all that. So take care, take heed. A lot of people will be lost based on what?
They don't believe.
What does it mean I don't believe? A lot of people will be lost because they made a choice to not heed that which is right and act accordingly. A lot of people know what is right, but they don't act on it. They'll act opposite. Did the devil know what is right? Well, what did they do? Did the devil know that God is the creator? That you really can't go against God? So knowledge is right knowledge, right knowing is part 1, step 1. But then followed by, I mentioned this before. Right doing. James says, without faith, what? Without faith, without works is dead. That means you have to do based on what the faith is telling you to do. So worship is all about what? Taking the right step for your own life to be restored. Right?
We also need to recognize who He is and who we are.
Right.
And that's when we really fear God and we worship Him. Once you know who you are and how helpless you are, you won't go anywhere unless you realize where you are.
Right. All the problems that we're witnessing, whether it's philosophical, in the media, or whatever it is, where do you think it is coming from? Worshipping the wrong system. It is predicted in the Bible. And a lot of people, you wonder, they're deliberately in this path of worshipping, elevating, giving it such importance to what? What they think is right, not what the Bible is saying. A lot of times they use actually the Bible and say, these are family values. Let's do this. And then in the name of family values and Christianity, what are they doing? Promoting hate, racism, discrimination. What does the Bible say about how we are supposed to treat one another? These are outreach week, How are we supposed to treat one another? Okay? And so, if we are worshipping the wrong system that elevates you and your feelings, what will happen? You will go opposite to those values that God tells you to follow. So when we worship God, what will happen? We will get to know who He is and His character, right? And what is His character? How did God reveal Himself in history?
Love.
Love. What is it?
Love
he's not just King of Kings, Lord of Lords, and creator of the whole, universe, but how did he reveal himself? As a servant of servants. Service. And how did he demonstrate that being servant of servants? He offered the sacrifice of all sacrifices, which is being crucified on the cross. He didn't just give money, because if he just gave money and make everything right, your heart still will be what? Worshipping the wrong object. It will still be wicked. That will not change. But he showed on the cross what will happen, what happens when you go against his order, his character, that there's an end to it. Right? So that your heart will change. So he became a servant of servants to offer the sacrifice of sacrifices to do what? To save our souls. It's all SOS. And so all this he did so that we will do what? Willingly worship without compulsion, without being forced. So that we can be changed. So the idea of worship ultimately is to understand who he is, so that what we will be. What can we be? So that we'll be the gospel, we'll be the good news, so that we will be an angel to somebody. Before we talk about three angels, be an angel to somebody. Does it make sense? A lot of times it's easy to say, the world is coming to an end. Sunday worship will be instituted. But a lot of times people's hearts are not changed. So we are supposed to be involved in what? Community, building community, meeting people's needs. That's worship. In fact, in the Old Testament, all that said, this kind of worship is what I want. Feeding the homeless, helping the widow. That's the worship, not just Saturday, offerings and all that, which is important, right? But we have to put the things in the right order. To know God's character comes through what? Worship. Putting Him first and putting yourself nowhere. And that way, what will happen? We'll be truly mission focused. What is the mission of our church? Seek and save the lost. It's not about who's in the right place and the right, who has the right credentials and, is that the mission? Who can be ordained? I'll openly say that. That's such a distraction, that whole argument and that focus. Mission is about what? Again, God's mission. When you worship the Creator, you know what His mission is, which is what? He gave Himself for what? To seek and save the least, the lost, right? So when we see red, what is the meaning of red? Danger, right? When we see blood on the street and red, what are we supposed to do? Run the other way? Get scared and run the other way? Too often that's what happens. We have a formula of worship, our formulas, and what happens? If anything goes against that formula, what do? When we see red, when we see danger, what do? We retreat. We run the other way. Right? We may be preaching well, but when it comes to practice, when your faith is actually tested, are you there to give red when you see red? You know what give red means? What's the meaning of giving red? Give your blood. Red Cross. What does that ask? That's where the life is, right? In the blood. When you see red, give red. That's the whole purpose of worship. So we are supposed to become into His image so that we can be a living example of what? What our worship is all about. Any other thoughts? I've been speaking about now. Did we cover everything we are supposed to cover? So be an angel to someone. That's the way to spread the angel's message. Okay, be the good news, be the gospel. I have to tell that again and again to myself. Because too often what we do, based on the history of Israel, we come up with our own rules. More rules than what God has given, right? And because of that, they rejected the very God there that selected them. Because they have so many rules. You can walk this way, you can talk that way, even they have a Sabbath everywhere. But that's an example to us too, that even the system in the end that will rebel against God has their own rules. They follow their own traditions. And there's a great danger in that. What is that? You're worshiping yourself. You're not worshiping God. So just be aware of what worship is all about. Right? Too often, this is what happens. It's all about what our ideas are. So we have to keep saying, worship is all about what? Not you, not your idols, not the building, not the music, not any rules. But first the person of God himself as to what he says. Then if you follow what he says, then things become simpler. And until then what happens? You come with all these rules. Which are not bad, but a lot of times what happens? They're not leading you to God. They're leading you to yourself. You're elevating yourself. And that's why all the confusion and chaos there is. Why? Because we're elevating ourselves, our fears. We're fearing ourselves rather than fearing God. Amen? Any other thoughts? Let the worship of God make you into what? Servant of servants. Anything else? Okay, let's cut it off in that. In fact, somebody sent me a video in which a person who was working, an Indian man, he was working in the World Bank and all that. Anyway, long story short is he had a child who had a problem in his brain. And his wife had Parkinson's disease. Ultimately, he resigned everything, and he said in that video, I'm here only to serve them. I have given up all my other priorities. I'm only here, and I'm sure he's not even Christian. For me to hear all this is like amazing. That's what Jesus is saying. I'm here to serve you. Okay? And that's how we be restored. Unless we serve each other, we will not be restored. We will be fighting against each other. So this man who is saying, I'm here to just serve them. I could care less about anything else. And the son who's now 42 years old or something, and he cannot speak. And he has to take care of his wife who has Parkinson's disease. What does it say? That is true worship, isn't it? Nothing else. Let's all rise for the closing prayer. I'll ask Sister Merlin, thank you for coming, to offer the closing prayer. Let's all rise, please.
Father, we thank you so much for the rest of Sabbath and for the service that you have allowed us to attend. We thank you for your servant, this presentation to us this morning, for opening our minds and filling it with your wisdom. Lord, we ask that we would be enabled in the lives of those who bring in contact with us, and that we would be the words that we use to spread the gospel. In Jesus' name.
Amen. Thank you all for coming, and we'll see you in about 5 minutes. So be an angel, not a judge and jury. How about that? Life will be much better for everyone. Amen.